Hello everyone! Today I will be talking about my experience, thoughts, and tips in AP drawing. Everyone is going to have a different experience in the class based on your teacher, friends, access to supplies, and yourself as an individual, but at the same time many things will still remain universal. And this is no way me trying to convince you that there's a proper way to do the class. I just hope I can bring some insight based on my experience and everything that happened to me and what my thoughts were on it. If you do the class without any background in art, it can be really challenging, and it's not something I would personally recommend. And it may seem a bit absurd for a student to enter the class without having a portfolio, but depending on the school, you never really know. My art teacher had an art student who only had a background in photography, and she would try her best to replicate her photos and drawings. And allegedly, she came out with a 3. Maybe your teachers are strict in certain students entering, maybe they're not. It kind of depends. Me speaking about this also seems kind of useless, as according to my art teacher, the curriculum for grading AP Art has changed from the regular breadth, quality, and concentration section to how you develop your art and your creative process. Anyhow, in the first semester, he gave us art prompts to have a variety of works and how we explore different mediums. That could probably be something we explored more in the second semesters. Some prompts would be like perspective, essence, isolation, social commentary, etc., etc. It wasn't obligatory to follow them, but they were helpful guidelines to get ideas and stuff. My art teacher really encouraged experimentation in the first semester, called the breath section. And it's good if you do because you may end up finding something you really enjoy working with, and you might elaborate on how you work with that medium later. And when you expand your knowledge in how to use a variety of art supplies, it really shows a variation in your art portfolio and how you grow as an artist because you just expanded your knowledge on all like the art possibilities that are out there. The breast section consists of 12 to 15 works for grading, but the more work you produce, the better because you have more to choose from. But this doesn't necessarily mean you should rush yourself because it is important to dedicate enough time to make your art look good. But it's also important to so you know how to pace yourself so you're meeting your deadlines because they always seem a lot closer than you would expect, especially since art takes so long. In the second semester, which is our concentration, is where we develop an idea and how our work evolves around that idea. Your concentration will most likely stem from one of your works in the breast section, which once again is important to not be afraid and try new things because you might have an idea for your concentration, which can help you develop your ideas later on. Themes for concentrations can be kind of vague or kind of more specific. For drawing, mine was visual representations of metaphors like caught red-handed or two birds with one stone. My art teacher shared some from his past students such as feathers. There was a girl where she had a feather collection and she started doing hyper-realistic drawings of them until they were close up and designs and everything like macro photography. My friend literally took a stuffed animal and drew a story of the dinosaur venturing through ordinary life, and it meant a lot because the stuffed animal was a representation of the good relationship she has with her younger sister. And I had another friend who did visual symbolism of LGBT identities, which also grew to be more of social commentary. It may take you some more time to cross a theme you want to work with, but when deciding, I don't think you should fret over how it should evolve because as you produce another 12 to 15 works, your art kind of evolves whether you like it or not, and sometimes even the most subtle of ways. If you have an idea that still stays consistent with the theme, but also has like a kind of like a variation, like a concept that can change a bit, but like still stay consistent, then you should go for it. One of the most difficult parts of the class is the dynamic you have with yourself and others, because sometimes they might want you to do things a certain way. Fortunately, one of the good aspects for my art teacher, Bob, is that he very much was an encourager of embracing your artistic vision. But he never taught us how to further develop our technical skill, which some people can argue that it wasn't his job because in order to enter the class, you have to have a background in art already. And it wasn't terribly hard to enter, but not every student really has that background. And it was frustrating because like you could have your own creativity, but you didn't really know how to like properly render it so you could like realize its full potential as an idea so other people can see it. So every art teacher might be might carry a different experience while teaching students because some might be stricter than others while others might be more chillaxed. Um, the last section of your portfolio are quality pieces that come from the first and second semester. Quality pieces, like the name, are your best pieces and are usually selected from both or from mostly your concentration, as skill wise they look better than the first semester. I'm pretty sure you send 5 quality pieces for them to be graded, and then you write a limited description of what your concentration was about. I'm not going to further elaborate on the system as it's reportedly changing this year. If there is one thing I wish I could have changed, is honestly how much time I spent the first semester. I wish I had dedicated more time to learning other mediums such as painting, because in fine arts it's really important to have a foundation in traditional art. And since it's a field I want to major in college, it's even more important. It doesn't matter if you can perfectly replicate the human eye or you're super creative. Both are really great skills to have, but you have to have elements of both if you're really hoping to get a high score in AP Art. If you didn't know, AP scoring goes through 1 through 5. 3 is passing, 4 and 5 is like the really, really highest good scores, although 5 is the best, of course. I think as long as you're important as long as you are aware of your pacing and your progress and you do your best, that's all that really matters. You shouldn't compare yourself to others and never forget that art is always a learning experience. And you should never beat yourself up because of it if it doesn't turn out the way you envision it. Because art can be really challenging, and I'm proud of each and every single one of you who takes the class and tries their best and just try and have a fun time in it. I think I can do separate videos of how I did all my art pieces and tips and suggestions I would do for art if you are taking the class. If you would like that, comment down below, like and subscribe. If you listen till here, thank you and have a wonderful day. If you're taking the class, I wish you the best of luck.